When it comes to having a business, you've got to figure out where is the best use of your time. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the Jennifer Allwood Show. I'm Jennifer Allwood, married to Jason Allwood, mother to Noah, Easton, Ava, and Ari Allwood. And that's how we came up with the name of the podcast, the Jennifer Allwood Show. So I'm glad that you are here. Okay, so here's what we're going to be talking about today. You guys in the past have heard me talk until I feel like I'm blue in the face sometimes about the importance of having an email list. Okay. I've done so many podcasts on this topic. I mean, there's so many statistics that are like, you have got to have an email list. 51% almost of people buy something from an email at least once a month right now. That's what studies show. In last year in 2023, email outperformed like ads and text marketing by 108%, you guys. It outperformed social media posts by 13% because we all know how crappy the reach is, and social media ads by 11%. So I'm telling you, like, email matters. It matters so, so much. So I know that some of you are still like, and yet I don't want to. And so what I'm actually going to talk about today is not like, I don't want to still try to convince you to do email, but rather what I want to do is try to come from a different angle and tell you, I'm guessing that these may be like one of the reasons why you're not using email. And then let me show you like the error of your ways. So same goal, still want you to use an email list, but I'm just going to come from a different angle. Okay. So to summarize, if you don't know anything about email lists, let me just give you the once over. Okay. Um, Email lists, there's so many good reasons to have one. Number one, it's like a direct access line to your clients. There's no social media algorithms that you have to worry about. There's no third party restrictions. Like you own your list more than you'll ever own social media. So like that's one really good reason to use it. You can reach your audience at any time with full control to a degree over your messaging, your timing, all of those things. Okay. Another reason you should use an email list is it converts better than social media. The people that it doesn't take much for somebody to like follow you on Instagram, follow you on the TikTok, follow you on the Facebook. Okay. But if somebody's going to give you their email address, it's like a different level of commitment. You've taken it from talking to dating using terms from like my kids, one of which is engaged. So he's neither talking nor dating. He's engaged. But, like, does anybody else just like not understand what the teenagers are doing? Can I just like side note? What do you mean you're not dating? You're just talking. Didn't you go out to dinner last night? Yeah, we're only talking. But wasn't that a date? No, we're just talking. But you talked while you're out on a date, right? I don't get it. So anyway, but it's like the next level of relationship if they go from following you on social to getting onto your email list. Or even if they don't follow you on social, then they bypass that. But if they're on your email list, they're committed to you in a different level. Okay. Also, let me just mention this. It is way cheaper to start an email list and use an email list than it is to send out mailers, than it is to pay for ads on Facebook, Instagram, anything else. Okay. So like there's so many good reasons. And my team, we have literally sat down and done the data because last year alone, we sent out 7.5 million emails from Jennifer Allwood to my email list. We send a lot of emails, friends. 75% of our sales come from email. And you're like, how do you know that? Well, because we use different links on email than what we do on social media. And so we know where our sales are coming from. And so 75% of all of our sales are coming from our email list. So like those are all the reasons that you should, okay? But if I'm you on the other side of this podcast right now and still not using an email list, I'm going to guess it's due to one of like 4 different reasons, okay? And so if any of these pertain to you, then I'm also going to give you the workaround, the answer to, or the rebuttal. Okay. So number one, I feel like there's a lot of business owners that are just so busy that they're like, Jen, I just don't have time. I don't have time. I'm juggling all the things. I don't have time to be the social media guru and the CEO and the janitor and the social media content person and the customer service person and figure out how to do, set up email and actually write them and send them and all those things. Like I don't have time for it. Okay. I get that. But here's the truth. The truth is you can hire a VA to do it for you. You can have somebody type up your emails for you via Voxer. I used to send email words to an assistant on Voxer all the time so that I wasn't the one like physically sitting down because it's less time. I talk faster than I type. You can use Chat GPT. Like that is a total game changer in terms of how long something takes. So if you're like, Jen, I don't have time, friend, but if are you possibly losing out right now? Just like on like, could you be 3 timesing the number of sales you're getting right now if you just had an email list? Like, make time for that. You know, when it comes to having a business, you've got to figure out where is the best use of your time. If you have not started a social media or if you've not started an email list yet, um, take a pause from social media if you have to for the next week and get it started. It's that important. Okay. So a lot of people say, Jen, I don't have time. Two, a lot of people say, Jen, I don't even know where to start. I'm not techie. Okay, me too. I don't even know like how to set it up, how to create an opt-in to get people like onto my email list. I don't know how to do any sort of like email funnel. Listen, I don't either. I mean, I did back in the day when I started my email list probably 15 years ago, but it was very quickly that I realized, listen, I am out of my field of favor. I am out of my lane here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be smart and use a virtual assistant to help me with all these things. And that would be my suggestion to you as well. If you don't have the time or you don't have the knowledge, then hire a VA, a virtual assistant. I own a VA service. If you're using Equip 360, you can go to equipped360.com, EQUIPT.com. That is our marketing software. You can literally hire one of my VAs to completely set up the email list inside of that for you. Okay. Easy breezy, mac and cheesy. But the longer you are putting it off because you don't have the knowledge or the time, the more money you're leaving on the table. All right. Number 3, I think there are still a lot of people who are like, Jen, I know, like, I know what you say, you know, about how beneficial it is. And I know, you know, you say this is where you get all of your emails or all of your sales, but like, what if that's just you? Like, I feel like there's a whole group of people, of small business owners, and you may be one of them, who are really still like doubting the effectiveness of email, especially if you're someone who has not used an email list at all for business or if you don't enjoy getting emails. This is always fascinating to me. Women will come into my coaching group all the time and they haven't started their own email list yet because they hate email. And I'm like, okay, but you've got to think about your clients. I mean, back when I owned my painting company, let me put this into perspective for you. I hated the color green for many, many years. And yet clients would ask me, I had clients that liked green. So what does Jen have to do? On occasion, she has to paint something green because that's what my clients are looking for. Does that make sense? And so, just because you don't like email, that doesn't mean your clients do not. Listen to some of these statistics, okay? I'm going to give you just some funny stats. There are over 4.5 billion people who are using email every single day in 2024. They're thinking that number is going to reach 4.8 billion by 2027. Okay. So first of all, that's a whole lot of people. All right. The statistics show, there was a survey done last year in 2023, that 88% of all people using email check their inbox multiple times a day. So now this is what I would love for you to do. If you are watching on YouTube, first of all, I hope you like my fit today. I've got on a little bodysuit with a little something, something over it. Got my hair in a little low bun, you know. I'm feeling cute. Might delete this later. No, I'm kidding. Isn't that what people used to put on Instagram? Feeling cute. Might delete this later. Okay. Check this out. 88% of everybody using email, check it daily. Here's what I want to know from you on YouTube. Give me a comment below. 39% of people say they check their email 3 to 5 times a day. 27% of people say they check their email 10 to 20 times a day. I think that's probably where I fall. 22% of people check their email 20 plus times a day. You have the opportunity to get in front of people like that are looking at their inbox every single day. What I want to know from you, if you're here on YouTube, is how many times are you checking your email a day? Just curious. If you're listening to this podcast on whatever podcast app, you can always just send me a DM on Instagram. But the truth is so many people are on their email and using email that even if you don't like it, you have to put that aside because you also won't like being broke. You also won't like it when you have to shut down your business and go back to a 9 to 5 because you're not making enough sales. So if you have a better ROI with an email list, that's what all the statistics show. If I'm telling you I get 75% of all of our sales on email, if I'm telling you that most business owners are using email, like you have to be using email. You just do. So even if you don't love it, it's a really nice thing when you see all those sales coming through. Okay. Last reason that I feel like a lot of people will say they don't want to use emails because they don't want to be spammy. That's like literally quote what they say. Jen, I don't want to be spammy. I don't want to be bugging people. Okay, listen. Back in, let's say 2015, if you got on somebody's email list, I think that most consumers were like, oh, look, and they sent me an email. Like we weren't, you know, equated enough. We weren't really familiar with how email marketing worked a decade ago, nearly as much as what we are today. Now, I know full good and well that if I see, Susie Q has something on social media, it's a freebie. I know full good and well that that is putting me onto her email list. She's going to send it right to my email. Now I'm on her list and she's going to send me emails and sell me stuff. Like everybody knows that. So all people in 2024 now understand that small businesses use email, number one. And that number two, if they're getting something free from you, whether it's a coupon or whether it's a newsletter or whether it is an opt-in, a free video or free training of some sort, they know and fully expect that you are now going to market them. So then people will be like, well, I'm afraid to be spammy. And then people are going to unsubscribe to my email list. And I'm like, who cares if Susie Q unsubscribes? Like, why are you even paying attention to that? She got your freebie. She got in, she got out. Like, who cares? It's the same as like when people unfollow you on social media. Like, stop looking at who's leaving. I want you to look at the 99 that are staying, that are waiting to hear from you. If you are focused on the people who are unsubscribing, you are focused on the wrong thing. Not everybody's going to be for you. Not everybody's going to want to stay on your email list. Let them go. It's okay. But if you're going to take it personally, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow as an entrepreneur. It just is. You've almost got to think of like your email list as a bathtub where like you have the water on in the bathtub, meaning you're getting new people coming in. You're getting new people coming in. They're opting in. They're getting on your list. But also the drain is open at the bottom, which means a few people are going to be sneaking out. They're going to be leaving. So you're hoping that the water is coming out faster than it's draining out. If you're not watching on YouTube, you didn't just see that visual, but let me say that again in a different way. You're hoping that the water pressure of how much water is going into the bathtub is more than how much is going down the drain and leaving. Does that make sense? Is that a good visual for anyone? In 2024, people know, they understand email marketing. They're not shocked that you're sending them an email. And if they consider that spammy and they leave your list, like, that's okay. Let them go. Right? Listen, I'm trying to think, are there any other statistics I want to share with you guys? 92% is the statistic, by the way. I think I forgot that one. Of all adults are using email. Did you know that? I mean, that's a lot of emails, you guys. It's a lot of emails. The reason people are sending so many emails is because emails work. How often do you think to yourself, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to stop spending. I am going to, cut back on overspending. I'm going to save our dollars. Christmas is coming up or whatever. And yet you get an email from Evereve with, look at the new color of leather for fall. And you find yourself opening up an email. You find yourself going to a website. Before you know it, you've got something in your shopping cart because email works. And so if you are someone who's sitting at home right now and you're like, I don't have the time, I don't know where to start, I'm still not, believing that's even effective. Hopefully I convinced you of otherwise on that one. And if you're worried about being spammy, like stop all those things. Hopefully I gave you some truth here so that you will get your email started. Listen, you should have heard an ad in the middle of this podcast episode, which talks about a free webinar that I've got coming up. I want you to, if you missed that, it's at jenniferallwood.com/free webinar. We're going to talk about how an email list is one of the things you're going to need to get a business off the ground. It's one of those things that for any of you who you're trying really, really hard to get out of that 9 to 5 and, get your side gig really going, or you're trying to get a business started or what have you. Email is one of the things that you need. If I can help you with all the other things, I want you to go sign up for that free webinar at jenniferallwood.com/free webinar. All right, friends. I hope this was helpful. I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Easton, do you ever feel like you're talking with like marbles in your mouth? Like, whoa. Like I feel like I've coached so much today that I'm just like slurring my words. I have not been drinking, but I feel like I had marbles in my mouth, just like, blah, blah, blah.